What's going on, YouTube? So, this next movie I'll be covering is arguably the greatest hood movie of all time. Arguably, I know a lot of people put it at they number one. To me, it's easily top three, but Boys in the Hood is what we're talking about. This movie came out in 1991. It stars Cuba Gooding Jr., Ice Cube, Morris Chestnut. So basically, it's about three kids: Ricky, Trey, Doughboy. Ricky and Doughboy I think half brothers. But Trey is like, he's not really a bad kid, but he just like has a temper problem. But he's in a hood environment, and he's staying with his mama, but he ends up getting into a fight. So he goes to live with his daddy. And when he lives with his daddy, he realizes like it's like a totally different lifestyle that he gotta live. Like his daddy, like a real intelligent dude, real no nonsense type dude. His daddy is actually, his name is Furious, played by Lawrence Fishburne. Like there's so many legendary actors in this movie. But yeah, he just gotta really abide by his daddy rules. It's basically like his mama wanted him to move with his daddy because he felt like his daddy would be a better role model and person in his life to steer him in the right direction. Because when he was living with her, he just fighting and getting in all type of trouble. So she probably was like, man, the best thing for me to do is just let him live with his daddy. So when he started living with him, his daddy wasn't going for none of that stuff he was doing with his mama. Like he had chores, he had to do this and that, and he had to basically follow his rules. And he was still a kid. So as they get older, it's like Doughboy and Ricky, Ricky was a football player. Like he was an aspiring football player. Like every kid in the hood is like, you either want to play basketball, football, or you want to rap. Nobody had, like, I'm not saying nobody has other dreams, but majority of times you have a dream of being one of those. Now, Doughboy is just like the bad kid in the hood. Like he just don't care. And then kids like that, they end up growing up being the grown men who don't care and always in the trouble. But as they get older, Trey, he really tries to stay out of trouble, but it's like his people, like Doughboy, somebody like that in and out of jail and in and out of trouble, you have to love people like that from afar. Because if you stay around somebody like that for a long time, eventually that trait's gonna rub off on you. So it's a scene in the movie where they throwing a party for Doughboy when he just came home, and when Trey talking to him, he just like, man, hopefully you stay out this time. Like, and he seemed like he was getting bigger and swole, and he was like, man, what was you doing in the whole time? He was like, man, I was just working out and reading. And I like this part when he was, one of Doughboy friends like, you was reading? He was like, yeah, I can read. Like, I'm not stupid. And I feel like that's what's wrong with black people in general. Like, if somebody reading, you looked at, if you known that somebody who read books, like, you known that it's weird or he a lame or he a nerd, like, there's nothing wrong with reading. And everybody know Ice Cube is a smart person in real life. But on this movie, like, it's just funny to me, like, how it threw his friend off that he was reading, because he is a G in this. Doughboy is a G in this movie. But anyway, it's another part where they act like this. It's like a downtown area, and this scene shows like the toxic mindset that the hood have. Ricky and Trey, they out there talking to Doughboy, leaning on his car, minding their business really, and this dude comes, he got this Jerry curl in his head. This dude comes and bumps Ricky for no reason, basically picking with him. And they get into an argument. Stuff like this happens in the hood all the time. Like, this is a perfect depiction of what goes on. Just stupid stuff. Even if you don't want no problems, like, it's like trouble gonna find you. But he bumps Ricky, they have some words. And then Doughboy gets out, pulls his gun out, like, he could have easily ended somebody's life just like that off of something simple as a bump. But they don't think nothing of it. Time goes on. The dude that he pulled the gun out on, now he trying to basically kill Ricky for no, and you bumped into him. This is the part I don't get. You bumped into him, and now you trying to kill him because he responded. This stuff goes on in the hood all the time. Now, Ricky, he's a star a star high school football player. He getting all these offers from these colleges. Like, he just basically stuck with his dream and was about to make it out. So, getting closer to the end of the movie, Ricky and Doughboy end up getting into a fight. And then Trey and Ricky walk off like they're trying to talk to him to calm him down. And when they walking, the same dude that bumped into Ricky, he sees him, and now he's just basically on a hunt to try to kill him for no reason. And then eventually everybody knows the scene, Ricky, and he ends up killing him for no reason. Stupid. But when he kills him, now Doughboy out for revenge. Like I said again, this goes on in the hood all the time. Something like a petty argument could lead to multiple people dying. Now he dead. Now this is his brother want revenge to come kill you. Now he done killed you. Now your friends want to come get revenge. And it's like a never ending cycle. And I feel like this goes on bad in Chicago. But at the end of the movie, they see the same people that killed Ricky eating some food. Doughboy pulls up. He turns his lights off. He ends up shooting them all up. And before this happens, Trey is in the car with them, and he kind of like, he wants to help them, and that's his friend, but he gets out the car before they go pull up on him. So he gets out the car knowing that the guilt was gonna eat him up. And at the end of the movie, like, he said, Doughboy told Trey, like, I know why you got out the car that night. Because he knew the guilt was going to eat him up, because it was eating him up the day after he killed him. So at the end of the movie, it's like Doughboy, he walks off into the sunset, basically. And it don't show him getting killed, but it shows like that he got murdered later on. But like I said, this movie just shows like the never-ending cycle that goes on in the hood all the time. I think John Singleton directed this movie, and this jump started Ice Cube career. But Boyz n the Hood starring Ice Cube, Morris Chestnut, and Cuba Gooding Jr. One of the best hood movies of all time. I'm gone.